In the purest sense of the term, the experience of the American black, who lives completely enmeshed in the cultural political North, for better or for worse, is technically within the hegemonic discourse. The feminist scholar Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak cautioned against an overbroad application of the term subaltern, saying, quote, "Just by being a discriminated against minority on the university campus, they don't need the word subaltern. They should see what the mechanics of the discrimination are. They're within the hegemonic discourse, wanting a piece of the pie and not being allowed. So let them speak, use the hegemonic discourse, but they should not call themselves subaltern," end quote. See, subaltern is meant more for those who were never integrated into the culture and economy of the North, often referred to as the West, but in this course we've chosen to give Western to the voices of the people west of Europe before the Europeans colonized it. So though college may teach you about injustices done to people based on racism and fascist outlooks, you still don't hear much about environmental injustice as it affects the people of the political solar South. And when you do, there's rarely any attention paid to the learnings and teachings of those who are impacted by the injustice. So-called higher education is still mainly the story of the hegemon, and all interpretations of justice and injustice are filtered through Eurocentric eyes. The wonderful Italian scholar Gramsci, who coined the phrase subaltern, who was imprisoned by Mussolini for his anti-fascist views, is still a European inviting you to explore the impact of colonialism, not a victim of colonialism. And colonialism, which has been sanitized by schools and history books, its brutality justified through comedic skits like Monty Python's "What Are the Romans Ever Done for Us?", was a blatant form of fascist control, the purest example of centuries, not mere decades of fascism. As the French Martinique writer, poet, and politician Aimé Césaire commented in his 1955 discourse on civilization, through his eyes, we get a different perspective on the shock Europe felt when the Nazis took power, believing what had happened to the colonized could never happen to them. Quote, "People are surprised, they become indignant, and then they wait and they hope, and they hide the truth from themselves that it is barbarism, but the supreme barbarism, the crowning barbarism that sums up all the daily barbarisms, that it is Nazism, yes, but that before they were its victims, they were its accomplices, that they tolerated that Nazism before it was inflicted on them, that they absolved it, shut their eyes to it, legitimized it, because until then, it had been applied only to non-European peoples, that they have cultivated that Nazism, that they are responsible for it, and that before engulfing the whole of Western Christian civilization in its reddened waters, it oozes, seeps, and trickles from every crack